Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the All Things Young podcast. My name is Victoria and today is August 11th. As you can see, I'm in a new location and that's because we have moved since the last time. That is also the reason why there has been like almost a year since the last episode. But I'm back and I've seriously been missing talking to you guys about my yarns and stuff. I had a couple messages on Instagram asking me if I would do more episodes, and yes, I am going to do so many more episodes because I don't really have anyone to talk with about my yarn and knits. I really enjoy talking about yarn and knitting, so there's going to be a lot more episodes coming in the future. So today is also my first day of medical school, so I'm trying to film this episode before I actually head over to school, so that is also super exciting. I have obviously done a huge amount of knitting since the last time I podcasted, so I'm not gonna show everything here. I'm just gonna show like what I finished in the past couple of weeks or worked on in the past couple of weeks, and then throw in a couple of my like favorite knits or new designs that I worked on in the past year that I have with me right here. There are some works in progress that I like cast on and almost finished, or also some like finished items that I cast on and finished like this past week, but I forgot that I was gonna film today, so they are in my suitcase that my boyfriend is bringing with him up here to Tromsø, where I live now, because I was taking the boat last night so that I would be able to be here before school starts, and then also participate in like a get to know each other kind of day that was yesterday. So I think I'll just jump right in with the finished items. And the first finished items, and this is probably my like the favorite thing I've ever knit. And the idea, as you know, behind a lot of my designs is like, how can I use up all these scraps? So I came up with this. Now, and I'm really sorry about the colors. I'm like not sure. I have really good natural lighting, but it may be my phone. The colors are not coming across as they are supposed to. But here is the t-shirt. This is a children's t-shirt, and this one is size 3 years. And it has like really easy raglan with these really easy cute details. And for this t-shirt, I think I used 2 skeins, 250 gram skeins, so 100 grams of the main color, and then I think maybe 35 grams of each of the contrast colors. So this is great for using up scraps and single skeins of whatever you may have. This design is gonna come out, I'm hoping soon, but to be honest with you, the math on this item is a little tricky because you have to have a certain amount of stitches in each section, like in each sleeve and in the front and back. And the math on that, like to making it right to the sizes, but also the right number for this pattern, that was kind of tricky, so I'm not sure when I'll have this finished. But as you can see, it's a summer t-shirt, and this is knit with Droppspell, which is a summer yarn. So maybe next summer. Let's be real here. Things take time with me, but yeah, I'm gonna try and have it done sooner rather than later, because I also want to make like a sweater with this design for kids. So I should just do the math and get it done, because I'm gonna have the same issue on the children's, like on the sweater. So that's item number 1 that I finished. And then because I'm really into like the summer yarns, I'm always late to the party when it comes to like summer yarns and stuff. Like in April I was rushing to get the Aurora twist headband done, because like at that time I was super into like Drops Air and those thicker, warmer yarns. But now it's like the middle of August. like summer, what is that? I live in northern Norway. Summer designs should have been out in May. But yeah, I'm really in love with these cotton linen yarns right now. So then I designed the bubble t-shirt. This is the kids version. This is also, this is gonna come out really soon because you're gonna see I have some more bubble stuff, and I just really wanna get the bubble t-shirts and stuff out there. Now I don't remember what size this is. I think maybe it was like 4 to 5 years. I'm gonna have to measure these and like check. But I was just really on a knit with cotton yarns or cotton linen yarns kick, so I knit this. And this is also gonna come in like a sweater, both for kids and for adults. I have almost finished knitting the sample for the adult bubble tee, which is the adult version of this. But that is in my suitcase that my boyfriend is bringing later today. So I'm gonna show you that in the next episode. And all of my patterns are gonna come, all of my like clothing patterns, I am gonna do my best to do them size inclusive. And when I say size inclusive, I really want to do them from like extra small up to 5XL. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure if I am experienced enough to make them all the way up to 5XL right now. I am gonna try to make them up to a minimum of like 2XL, 3XL, and if I can figure out the math on how to make them up to 5XL, I will do that. If they don't come in 5XL right now, I'm gonna find someone, a tech editor or something to work with me and make my patterns available also in those sizes, because I know a lot of people are asking for size inclusive patterns and I really want to be a size inclusive designer, but I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure if I have the skill to do that just yet, but I'm gonna try. So if you know anyone who's good at like doing the math for knit patterns or a really good tech editor, like please just let me know and I'll maybe contact them and pay them to help me do this, because I'm not that experienced yet, but I want to be sometimes. So again with the cotton yarn, so when I was in April I was making the Aurora twist headbands. I don't have it with me. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but I'll link it below in the Aurora twist. I should have brought one with me, but I can't find it right now. I'm gonna show you one in the next episode. But like then I was really loving that texture. So I'm putting also, as well with the bubbles, I'm putting this texture over all the items. So when we were looking at this apartment, I was like, I'm gonna get that apartment. No questions, that is gonna be my apartment. So then I needed or wanted, maybe both, some new dishcloths, no, pot holders. So I put the Aurora stitch pattern on a pair of double dishcloths. And these are knit on 5mm needles, no, 4.5mm needles with, I'm using Aran cotton, but I know my test knitters have used worsted weight cotton. And this is gonna come out probably like within a week. The pattern is gonna come in 2 sizes. It's yeah, I don't know, the pattern is gonna come in 2 sizes, and they are the best pot holders along with the bubble pot holders that I have ever had. They're just like, because they are double, they're so thick, but they're at the same time soft. They're not like really hard and compact, but they still don't let heat through, and they also have this like hang to hang up in your kitchen so they can be out of the way. So I'm really loving that. And then I just have 2 more items that I'm going to show you really quickly, that one I finished within the last week, and the other one is like the big brother of the item that I finished. So I'm just going to show that as well. It's the bubble kitchen towel. You can see the bubbles there. This also has a hang to hang up. If you want to, you can also knit the pattern without the hang. And then I finished in the past week the bubble dishcloth. And again, it's just like, I'm just loving cotton yarns right now. I'm not ready for summer to be over. Both of these are knit on a 5mm needles with Viking Vår, which is a worsted Aran, probably more Aran weight cotton yarn that I just really enjoy this cotton yarn. So that was, I'm trying to be quick in this episode because my episodes can be like 2 hours long. And I didn't even bring out all that I knit in July even with me today. So, but I'm trying to be quick because I have to meet at school in like an hour and a half, and I have to eat breakfast and get ready before that. And also, I'm like not sure how long episodes people want. Do you want like hour-long episodes, or do you want like half an hour weekly? I'm thinking, because I knit so much, I'm gonna do a weekly episode or a bi-weekly episode. Now, I'm not sure really how much knitting time I'm gonna get when we start school, but like I still imagine I'm gonna prioritize knitting pretty hard, and I'm gonna knit a lot still. So yeah, that's life, I guess. I'm really pale in this light. I thought I was gonna look tan. So again with the cotton, yesterday on the boat, on my way up to Tromsø, I knit these two dishcloths. They're just really simple corner-to-corner dishcloths because my apartment needed some new dishcloths. And so I knit two. I just need to weave in the ends, but I'm gonna do that when I get back from school today. So each of these uses like 30 grams maybe of cotton yarn. So this was 60, knit on 5mm needles. And then also, I had 250-gram skeins of this yarn. I also knit the Aurora dishcloth. This needs to be like blocked, and I'm not going to block it because it's a dishcloth, but I would ideally block it because you can see the ends are curling in slightly. But also the Aurora stitch pattern on this. That pattern is also out with my testers right now, so like that is coming sometime soon. Then I cast on this, the second I was done with the Aurora twist headband, but I never finished it, so I finished this like in the last couple of weeks. It's the Aurora kitchen towel, which is gonna be great. I'm just gonna have this in my kitchen to like dry my hands, because using that much like paper in the kitchen, I don't like it. And I have like other dishcloths, but I don't like drying my hands on those. So this is gonna be for like drying our hands in the kitchen. This is also using 5mm needles, and that is actually Drops Paris, not Viking Vår, but it's the same thickness in the yarns. Then I have knit, and now I should have my sock blockers, but my sock blockers are at my parents' place still because I forgot to bring them. I have finished for summer sock camp. I knit a pair of just fingering weight socks, and I'm really loving doing an anatomical toe. And what that means is that you have, and I haven't woven in the ends, that's the theme of this episode, but that means like you basically have a right foot and you have a left foot. So like you can see the decreases on the top are like made to fit a right foot and to fit a left foot. So on this socks I have done a slip stitch, a heel flap, and just a normal gusset. not sure if you can see. This yarn is Drops Nord. And I'm not quite sure really how I feel about Drops Nord. I kind of like it, and I bought some socks that were machine knit with Drops Nord a while ago, and like I've been loving those, but I haven't tried to wash them yet. So I'm like, I'm not really sure if this yarn is gonna stay nice after a wash. We are gonna see, and I'll keep you updated, but it's a really nice yarn to knit with, and it's really affordable. I think it's like $3 per $3 per 50 gram. So this pair was like $6, and I still have some scraps. I knit the cuff 18 rounds, I think, and then the leg 40 rounds, and then just knit it to my length, which is a European size 40-41-ish. So that's that. And now you're gonna see like on theme with the bubbles. I am still so, as you can see of the previous items, in love with bubbles. I have so many new designs that are planned and in the making with like the bubbles. And ever since I really got on like a sock train in, I want to say May, and before May I had only knitted like 1 or 2 pairs of socks, but then May hits and I don't know what happened, but then I was knitting like a sock in fingering weight to a 40-41 foot a day. So something happened there, so naturally I had to put bubbles on some socks. No other way to do it. So this is the bubble socks in fingering weight yarn. I just did a normal heel flap and gusset, and this pair is either for me or for my mom. So I did the anatomical toe again. It's just plain knitting on the bottom because like you're gonna step on that. I'm not sure how I would feel about stepping on the inside of the bubble structure. So I just knit the bottom plain. And again, I need to weave in the ends, but who cares? Knitting is supposed to be fun, and if I don't feel like, I'm sorry, I just need to stretch. And if I don't feel like weaving in the ends, I'm not gonna do it. It can happen in a year from now. Knitting isn't supposed to be like, I need to do this. Knitting is supposed to be like, I want to do this. And right now, I don't want to weave in any ends. So we'll see how long it takes before these ends get woven in. One issue that I've been seriously having with my knit socks is that they are, you knit in the round, so they are like the same length on top as they are like on top, on this side as they are under the foot. But that doesn't work for my foot. I need them to be longer underneath the foot than they are on top. So I've been seriously struggling with how to achieve that, and I've been trying like short rows. I tried that once, and I was like, what on earth am I doing? And I didn't understand what I was trying to do, so I scrapped that idea. But then, with the bubble socks, because of the bubble stitch is actually pulling the fabric slightly together like this way. So with the bubble, they are actually slightly shorter on top than they are under. So these socks fit me perfectly. This pattern is coming very soon, and it's gonna have the option for an anatomical toe and also like a normal, I'm not sure what I'm trying to show, but like the normal toe, like the boxed toe. But I just want to give you guys those options. Like if you want to do a left and right sock and want to do an anatomical toe, you can. Like for socks that I'm not supposed to wear in my shoes, I don't care if it's the box toe, but when I'm gonna wear them in my shoes, I just really like the anatomical toe. These are knit on 9-inch circular needles in a size 2.5 millimeter, and this is using the yarn Liten Alpaca Storm, which is it's like a wool nylon yarn. I'm not sure like how many percent of each yarn, but I think it's only available in like the Nordic countries, or maybe even just Norway. I don't know. But you can obviously use any fingering weight yarn. So I'm getting close to the end here. I'm only 20 minutes in. Woohoo! That feels really good. So on theme with the bubbles, I have the bubble sweater for kids. I think this was supposed to be a size like 5 to 6 years old, but I'm not sure what happened with my mat because this is too short for a 5 or 6 year old. So this could be for a bigger 3-year-old. But yeah, the pattern is going to be written in sizes from I think 6 months up to like 3XL. I'm going to try and get to 5XL, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I just need stockinette sleeves for this one, bubbles on the body, and then a stockinette sleeve. This is raglan. I think this was knit on 4 millimeter needles, and with drops merino extra fine. The reason that I just put stockinette on the sleeves is because I think this would be a really nice sweater to wear like under your like for example in kindergarten, under your like outer clothes when you're going out to play in the cold. And I'm not sure, I have a feeling like doing the bubble texture on the sleeves would make the sleeves fit worse inside of their like winter suits and stuff. So, but the pattern is going to come with the option to do bubbles on the sleeves and stockinette in the body, and also with how to do bubbles on the entire sweater. So I want to give you guys lots of options for that. I think the adult sweater is going to be knit with a worsted or Aran yarn. I have already knit up one sample of the adult sweater using 5.5 millimeter needles, but I'm not sure. I might do it in several like thicknesses, yarn weights. I might do it in several yarn weights, but the first one that's gonna come out is the DK weight bubble sweater for children, and probably the Aran worsted weight for adult. And yeah, I'm just really loving, as I said, the summer tops. So I'm just going to show you this really briefly because it's not done, and I kind of want to show you it next week when I hopefully will have finished it. This is just a loose fitting summer tank with spaghetti straps. This is like an I-cord straps, and then just like some slight shaping. The front and the back are the same on this one, and it has A-line shaping in this sample. You can see it going up there, just because my hips are so much wider than my waist. We are talking at like close to a 10-inch difference. So if I don't do any A-line shaping, then the thing is either going to be too clingy around my hips, or like really tight around my hips, or way too loose around my waist and bust. So I have done A-line shaping on this, but again, it's with this like I want to be inclusive in my sizes. So with this pattern, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it just yet, but what I want to do is to make like a really explained pattern that says like how to make this a loose-fitting summer top to fit no matter what the difference between your waist and your hips are. And so I'm thinking, and that is what I want to do with this, and that is why this pattern hasn't come out this summer, because I finished knitting this a while ago and I have the plans for what I want to do with it, but I'm just like, I'm not quite sure how to write the pattern up. I know what I want to do and what I want to say, but I'm having difficulties in writing it up. And that's just because I don't want to write this pattern to be A-line, and then people who aren't A-lined is gonna have like a huge flare on the bottom part of their summer top. But then I also don't want to write it like straight down, because then the people like me who are really A-line shaped are gonna have some serious issues. So I just want to write this pattern so that will show you how to do some really simple math to get this to have like 2-inch positive ease throughout the entire garment. Now this is also knit with Drops Bell and 4mm needles. That is the cotton linen yarn that I'm really in love with. Lately. I have also in the past month knit 2 Anchors summer blouses. I think that's what they're called, Anchors summer top, summer tee, so Anchors summer something. With this yarn for my mom, one in a blue and one in the pink that was in the first sweater I showed. So I'm just really loving this yarn lately. We still haven't tried to wash anything knit with this yarn, so if that like really doesn't work, I'm like not sure what I'm gonna do, because I've knit so much in this yarn lately. But people are saying this is a good yarn, so I'm like hoping that people are right. When we moved into this apartment and I was moving all of my yarn, I realized not only do I have a shitload of yarn, but I have so many scraps, and all of my scraps are either in like Sannes Fritidsgarn, Drops Nepal, Drops Merino Extra Fine, some in Drops Lima, and then cotton scraps in different variations. That is all my scraps, really. And I realized that it was stressing me out because I was constantly trying to like find patterns that I could use up all my scraps in. But like as I knit, I'm just gonna accumulate more scraps. So I decided that I was just gonna do something really mindless with my scraps. So I sorted through all of my scraps in different portions, or like depending on what yarn it was. For example, in Fritidsgarn I have so many scraps because I knit a lot of heart mittens last year. I probably knit like close to 100 pairs of heart mittens last year, and I am trying to be really good about that, because like one pair of heart mittens uses like 250-gram skeins of yarn, but then you'll have a huge leftover. So what I was doing, I was buying 5 skeins and then I could get 3 pairs out of those 5 skeins, but I was still getting scraps. So I decided that for my Fritidsgarn, I sorted through it, and in some of the colors like yellow and blue and pink, I had so many scraps of like yellow and so many scraps of pink that I was like, I'm gonna see if I can match these colors up, and like that they are close enough, even though they are different dye lots, if they are close enough that I can make a pair of heart mittens with them. So for the yellow ones, I have 6 scraps of Fritidsgarn that I am gonna weigh. My weight is at my parents' place, but like when I get my weight up here, I'm gonna weigh these scraps and see if it's enough for a pair of adult heart mittens. If it's not enough for an adult pair, I will just do a children's pair, because I feel like when I have this much scraps in the same color, it's kind of too much to just put into a scrappy project. So I'm gonna try and make a pair of heart mittens with that. And then I also have several other colors that have quite the same amount of scraps. My goal is to finish like using up these sorted scraps within like the next couple of weeks, because even though I don't have that many scraps, I'm getting so stressed with seeing like all of these open skeins that are just laying around, and I'm just like, I should use you, there's a lot of yarn lying here, but then I just never get around to do it. So well, it is what it is. I have already finished a project with fritidsgarn scraps that are like all of the colors, but that is in my suitcase and I'm gonna show it to you next time. And I was feeling really good knitting up those scraps. I was like, yes! There was like even these tiny scraps of like 7 meters, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna use you up. So that was great. And then I also had a lot of scraps in Nepal yarn, and I was just making bubble beanies with them and like doing one stripe of each color or one row of bubbles in each color. But I'm like, I don't want to knit 1,000 bubble beanies because I'm not really focusing on selling those anymore. I have moved on to like other items, so it's like not that good to just keep making the bubble beanie in all colors. I'll still make them in any colors on request, and I still have some that I need to sell out, but I'm like not gonna focus on making those. So instead, there is this project in Norway called Nepal Blanket, which is basically that you knit with whatever leftovers or scraps or colors that you have, blankets and sweaters and socks and hats for children that are being born in Nepal. Because even though Nepal is a warmer country, it still gets cold, and especially for a baby, but they don't really have a lot of money and stuff. So we are knitting for them. So I thought Nepal is 65% wool, 35% alpaca, or the other way around yarn. So I thought like that would be great for a blanket for the newborn kids in Nepal. So I am doing a corner to corner blanket with all of my scraps of Nepal. Yeah. So this is knit on 5mm needles. And I'm just putting in the scraps as I find them, because I'm still going through my yarn and finding new scraps. What you see here was knit in a day. I was like, I'm just gonna do like maybe 2 colors today, but then I just kept going. It was so fun to just see my scraps disappear into something useful. So I knit that in a day. Now I know that I have more scraps in Nepal, but because they want the blankets to be at least 1 meter by 1 meter, I might have underestimated how many scraps I needed. But if I end up not having enough scraps to finish the blanket, I think I do, because I still have a lot of skeins of Nepal that I'm gonna knit into projects, and then I'm sure I'm gonna have scraps of that. But if I end up not having enough scraps for it, then I will just buy a couple of skeins of Nepal, because it's not that expensive yarn, and I would really love to just finish this blanket and have it sent to... I'm not going to send it to Nepal myself. I'm going to send it to someone who sends it to Nepal, because there are the organizers in Norway of this project. Some of them are like... then like everyone sends to them, and then they send a huge packet to Nepal in order to save on shipping. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry, I had to cut off. As you can see at like the end of the other clip, I was getting really uncomfortable. My leg was just starting cramping like crazy, and I was like, oh, I have to talk through this sentence before I stop, but it's hurting so bad. And so, oh yeah, I'm sorry, that was what happened. My leg was just cramping so bad because I've been sitting on the floor for so long, and my leg just went crazy, but I'm back and I'm almost done with filming this episode. So I was talking about the Nepal blankets. So yeah, I'm gonna make this blanket, and then I also have a lot of scraps in medium extra fine and also a lot of scraps in Lima. So if I find out that I have like close to enough scraps to make a blanket in those yarns as well, I'm gonna need 2 more blankets for Nepal. And I'm thinking like this is gonna be my go-to for those kinds of scraps, knitting blankets for Nepal, because it's a really mindless project. I can just knit without thinking about it, and it's also, my scraps are getting into good use because the children in Nepal, they're not gonna care. Like this blanket is mainly blues and grays and whites, but like the children in Nepal that are freezing are not gonna care if there's a pink stripe in here if this is given to a boy. Like, so they're just gonna be really grateful that they have something to warm them. So that is what I'm going to do with these blankets. I'm just gonna continue doing that with my scraps, because I feel like that is a really good way for me to stress down, both with the knitting, but also with the like getting those scraps and open skeins out of my life, because it is stressing me having so many open skeins of yarns. So that was that. And then I don't have it with me, but I have been just knitting all of my cotton yarns into like these kinds of dishcloths, or yeah, washcloths, and all of my scraps also, because I have a lot of cotton scraps. And the project in Nepal, they are also collecting like washcloths, because they don't have like baby wipes and stuff in Nepal available for most people, so they're also taking washcloths. Now, as far as I have seen, like there is most like sewn washcloths. They're like, we'll take any washcloth. Any washcloth is helpful. So I'm also knitting up some scrappy cotton washcloths for them. I'm really loving knitting these kind of washcloths, corner to corner. They're really quick, really mindless knit. But I have like, I think 80 dishcloths knit up, and I don't need that many, and I don't have that many friends or that big of a family to give them to either. So I'm thinking this is just a great way of going through my stash and using up scraps and single skeins of yarn. And then the last project that I want to talk about today is the bubble DK weight socks that I'm working on. I cast this on yesterday on the boat after I finished the dishcloths. This is just a cuff down sock. These ones I'm knitting on, what is this called? On magic loop, because I didn't have a 9-inch circular that was 4mm, and I really like knitting socks on DPNs as well, but knitting socks with bubbles on DPNs is slightly, I'm not gonna say it's a problem, but it takes like slightly more thinking with your tension when you are doing the bubbles. So I might have to go and see if I can find a 9-inch 4mm circular needles, but if not, I'm just gonna do them on magic loop. So these are with Sunless Garn Perfect, and I'm gonna knit these socks first of all because I like my socks slightly shorter, and second of all, I'm not sure if these are gonna be for me, but like I don't want to have to go out and buy 3 skeins of this yarn and then have a huge scrap, so I'm gonna make do with 2 skeins, which totals to 100 grams. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try and finish these socks like within the end of this week, so you will probably see them finished next week. So if you came here today to watch this podcast, thank you so much for stopping by. I have a lot to show you in the upcoming videos, because I still have a lot of projects just from the last couple of weeks that aren't here with me today that I want to show you. And then also I want to show you some of my favorites from like the last year that I never got to show you. Some of those have been seen on my Instagram, but most of them have not been shared anywhere. So I just want to say thank you for stopping by, and comment below, what do you do with your scraps? Because another thing you could do is like donate them to a kindergarten or something. So just comment below what you do with your scraps, and I'm sure we can all get like good ideas from each other on what to do with our scraps, because it can be stressful, and when you knit like a crazy person, you're gonna have a lot of scraps. So comment below with what you do with your scraps. I'm gonna pull one winner from the comment section that is gonna get a pattern of their choice from me, and I'm thinking like really close in the future I'm gonna do a bigger giveaway with some yarn, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again in a week. It may be more, I don't know how my schedule is gonna be, but thank you for joining, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.